giving you because music never stops giving. It's like rotating at 750,000 rotations RPM per minute per second. Holy cow.
My old man had a rounder soul. He'd hear an old freight train, then he'd have to go. Said he'd been blessed with the gypsy bone. That's the reason, I guess, that he'd been cursed to roam. Came to town back before the war. Didn't even know what it was he was looking for. Carried a tattered bag for a violin, for the lots of songs of the places he had been. Talk real easy and he smiled and waved. He could pass along to you when his fiddle played.
Shigaboom, biggie, go, Mike's Music Method. Boom, come on in everybody. Amazing song. Today we are doing the best Jerry Jeff Walker song, My Old Man. Did you think it was going to be otherwise? Correct me if I'm wrong. I would love to hear more of this guy's amazing music. Familiar with some of it, but man, this song captured my heart. You know, I always thought, oh, he's okay, he's pretty good, but when I heard My Old Man, if you don't know this song, go look it up. The original on the Mr. Bojangles album is incredible. I'll be honest though, I'm actually partial to the one on, what's it called? I'm always forgetting. Gypsy Songman, which is a 2006 album. He re-recorded it, and I just love the fiddle playing on it, and his delivery's a bit different. There's at least 3 different versions of this song floating around out there. They're all gorgeous in their own way. The tab you're looking at is off that Gypsy Songman album. So if you're new to Mike's Music Method, I'm going to walk you through measure by measure, teach you exactly what to do with your right and left hand. So get comfortable, get your favorite guitar, and timestamps are down below. So I'm going to walk you through measure by measure. We'll talk about singing it. And at the very end of the video, we will do a slow run through of each section. So if you feel like a pretty advanced player, you can just kind of like jump around. But if you're a noob, I think it'd be great for you to get all the pointers, make sure you're playing the song the right way, as close as I can get to how Jerry Jeff himself is picking the darn thing. This song was sponsored by the lovely Grant. Thank you, Grant. Anyone else want to sponsor a song, go to mikesmusicmethod.com, but also go over to mikesmusicmethod.com because I have all these tabs. They're available based on the value for value model. That means if you have no money, you can get them for free, but I encourage you, if you're getting value from the channel, throw me a couple bucks. All that info is at mikesmusicmethod.com. And that's it. Let's just dive in. We're going to start doing this. By the end of this video, you're just going to really be able to move that thumb in some beautiful ways. So it's not a beginner piece. If you are a beginner, check out my Travis picking playlist, and you can go through the first 8 or 10 of those sequentially to get a good grasp on it. But after you do that, you'll be ready to tackle this one. And like I was saying, he's just a beautiful use of the thumb, how it interrupts the melody, and it's one of the elements that makes the picking in the song just gorgeous, and you're going to have it down by the end of this video. Let's dive into this Jerry Jeff Walker masterpiece. Measure 1 is just a pickup, and we're just playing the 3rd fret on the 6th string. And then measure 2, we go straight into a normal C chord. So honestly, he's probably, I don't know, he's just kind of walking it with that ring finger. This is really cool. Already, the first measure is beautiful. So we have a normal C chord. The thumb pattern, check it out. Just going from 5 to 3. That's it. Now on this beat 3, 1, 2, we're gonna pinch, 5 and 1. And notice that my pinky's down on the 3rd fret of that C chord. So a C chord, but with the pinky down on the 3rd fret there. Now when I do that slide, he's not holding both of them down. So in other words, he's only sliding that top one. He's not sliding the A string with it. And so that can be a little tricky. After you do that pinch on 5 and 1, I'm releasing the pressure on this finger and only sliding the pinky. So you got to make that one staccato. So spend some time there. That's already fairly awkward. And when you get that, the thumb goes down to the 3rd string. So just try to get used to that idea. And then when you get it, again, it's a 5-3, pinch 5 and 1 with the slide, then the 3rd string with the thumb. So stop that video, really practice that, make sure you got it. 3, 4. Measure 3, we go right back to the normal position after that slide. Right back to the C chord with the pinky down. So I'm pinching 5 and 1, thumb on 3. And then immediately after that thumb on 3, I go back to the 1st string, but I lift the pinky so it's open. So pinch 5 and 1, 3rd string, back to the 1st. 2nd half of the measure is thumb on 5, pointer finger on 3. So notice the whole thing shifts up here. 5, 3, then my thumb at the end here, I'm pinching 4 and 2. So notice how my thumb pattern is 5, 3, 5, 4. Right, so that open there on the 3rd string, we're actually playing with the pointer, it's not the thumb. The thumb pattern is 5, 3, 5, 4. All right, so again, we'll talk through it slow. We did the beginning a bunch, so we got that. Pinch, thumb, and the 2nd half, what I'm doing here, thumb, the pointer finger is on that 3rd string now, not the thumb. And then we're pinching 4 and 2 at the end, thumb and middle. So that's the end. 5, 3, 4 and 2 together. Thumb, pointer, thumb and middle together. Really cool, and that's actually what makes this song so beautiful. Is Townes does this too, and this song does it in a really beautiful, masterful way where the thumb's moving around, sometimes playing a higher melody note, sometimes just doing the bass line, and whew, gorgeous. So real slow that whole measure 3, 3, 4. Measure 4 is an F chord. Guys, I'm sorry to break it to you. You kind of have to do the thumb over the top F chord here. You can obviously simplify it, but if you want to get all the notes in this measure and in this song, you really want to do that thumb over the top F chord. And what it looks like with the thumb over the top F chord, but we also have the pinky down on the 2nd fret of the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. Sorry, you can see me do it. There we go. So we pinch those two, 6 and 2. I'm doing thumb and you can do pointer or middle here. And then the thumb goes to the 4th string. So pinch, 6 and 2, then thumb on 4th. 2nd half of the measure, we do 6, 2, not together, but thumb, middle or pointer, again, it doesn't matter. Then check this out, my thumb jumps all the way to the 3rd string here, and I'm pinching the 1st string with it, and it's open. And you want that to ring out. That's why this part is so beautiful, because you have the D and the E, that half step ringing out next to each other, and it's just a gorgeous, dreamy sound. So that 2nd half of the measure, thumb on 6, pointer finger on 2, then thumb goes all the way to 3, and I'm pinching the top string with it with my middle. Beautiful F major 7 chord. So the whole measure, 3, 4. Mindful of the thumb, 6, 4, then the 3rd string there, 6, 4, 6, 3. Measure 5, we stay on that F chord, pinching 6 and 1 to get that nice major 7 sound again. Thumb goes to 3 right after that, so 6, 1, 3. Easy enough. 2nd half of the measure is 6, 3, but that's my pointer finger now. So he's doing that cross again. He hit it with the thumb here, then he does it with the pointer finger, and his thumb ends up on the 4th string afterwards. So it's 6, 3 with pointer, then I'm going to pinch 4 and 2, thumb and middle here, and my pinky's still down on the 3rd fret. Now you really got to make sure your hand's nice and bent, because you got to play that 3rd and open together. A lot of you might be farting out that open string because you're not, try that guitar on the left leg, try to get that angle going, so it's a bit easier to reach all those notes. So again, measure 5, pinch, thumb on the 3rd string there. So 6, 1 to the 3rd,
6, 3 with the pointer, then pinch, 4 and 2. So let's do it slow together. 3, 4. Again. You gotta have a really loose right hand so that you can, thumb goes big, then it goes small, right? Slightly shift that hand up. Measure 6 is a G chord, which is really pretty too. Dylan does this in the chorus to Don't Think Twice, It's Alright. Tom Waits does this trick in whichever one I covered. I'll link it here when I remember the name. One Last Look. And I'll link to the other one that I mentioned before. And then, I think I can remember it, Elizabeth Cotten does the same trick in Freight Train. So this is, I love this little move here. You got a G, you make it a G6 by putting your middle finger down on the 2nd fret of the D string, and then your pinky goes down to the 3rd fret. So you're walking up on that D string, open 2, 3, but you're doing it all on a G chord. Really beautiful. So measure 6, we just start on a G. I'm pinching thumb on 6, and then 2 and 3 all at the same time. Thumb, pointer, middle. Then the thumb does 4. So we got that big pinch, then thumb on 4. Second half of the measure, I'm doing 6, 3 with my pointer finger. Then I'm doing a pinch here, but right when I pinch 4 and 2 with thumb and middle, I'm also putting that middle finger down here on the 2nd fret of the D string. So I get that. So the second half of the measure, 6, 3, put the finger down and pinch. So the whole measure together, 3, 4. Now look at how this thing bleeds into measure 7 here. What's kind of weird in the tab, you'll see that the 3 gets hammered on right at the beginning of this measure, but I'm only pinching 6 and 2 here. I mean, you could pinch all of them. It's kind of awkward because you're like crossing, you know what I mean? You're crossing a string. There are some songs that do that, where you'll do like pointer and ring and skip the middle. He's not doing that. He's letting the hammer on from the previous measure kind of be loud enough, but he's really only pinching 6 and 2. So let that settle in. I might do the end of measure 6 a lot. Right, you can hear that hammer on. You're still hearing that 3 subtly in there, but he's just pinching 6 and 2. And then immediately we are hearing that, because right after we pinch 6 and 2, we're going to the fourth string there with our thumb. Then the same ending as the previous measure. It's just thumb, pointer, then we pinch. So that was 6, 3. Then I'm pinching 4 and 2 with thumb in the middle. So let's go for measure 6 and try to get that. 3, 4. Yeah! Measure 8, we've got a C chord with a G in the bass, a C/G. And it's hard to tell. There are moments in the song where he starts this measure on the 5th string, other moments where he keeps it on the 6th. And, you know, my tab may not be exact because it's a lot of back and forth, and it's hard to tell, especially once the bass guitar kicks in, to know what string the guitarist is playing. But in this intro, it's a C chord, and he is keeping that G in the bass. And we're just going to pinch, do that big pinch again like we did in measure 6. We were going to pinch 6, 3, and 2, all at one time like that. Then the thumb does the 4th string. Then the end of the measure here. So we got that. The beginning's easy. Yeah, that's all that it is. Second half of the measure is this. We do 6. Then I'm going to do the 2nd string, but it's going to be open. I'm going to hit it open with my middle finger, and we're going to hammer on. And I call this a giddy up. Thank you, Anders, for the terminology. Giddy up. Anders, who did this amazing artwork. Boop. Check out the video to learn more about Anders and his unbelievable gift from God, this talented man. This is a pencil drawing. That's not a photograph of Mississippi John Hurt. It's a pencil drawing. But anyways, I used to call this idea the compound movement, but Anders titled it the giddy up, which is way cooler. So what we're going to do here... Oh, I did it wrong. So I'm going to hammer on open to 2 on that 2nd string. But the moment I execute the hammer on, I'm hitting the 4th string. Right, so the hammer-on's on the 2nd, but my thumb does the 4th the exact moment I hammer on. Giddy up, giddy up. It's an excellent move. It happens so much, and it's so beautiful. It's very unique to the guitar. So this whole measure, second half of the measure one more time, is 6. I lift the pointer finger to get open on the 2nd string with my middle finger. I hammer on, and the moment I hammer on, I hit the D string at the same time with my thumb, the 4th string. So that whole measure, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. Measure 9, pretty darn similar, but no hammer on. A little different at the end. Pinch these again, thumb on 4. Then we're doing 6, 3, pinching 4 and 2. It's a little bit simpler. Shaboom! Now is the perfect time to go to the end of this video where the timestamp says slow runs intro, and make sure you got it and it's feeling good and confident. Spend some time there and then move on.
Shaboom! The donation pitch. Guys, Mike's Music Method exists based on the value for value model. That means for me to have more time to work on this channel, I need lovely people like you to support. And many of you are, and those who are, mwah, thank you so much. But the way this works, you can go to my website, sign up for one of the plans to get access to all of the tabs. You can still do a free plan if you absolutely need to. There's a free one available. But I really encourage you, can you do $2 a month? Yeah, you can. I think you guys can out there. Can you do $5 a month? You probably can. That's not a lot. Can you do $10 a month? Then you would be really supporting this channel, helping me create more and more content, get more of these awesome tabs and very accurate tutorials to more and more people. So the more you guys can support me, the more time I can pour into the channel. And that's it. It's a value for value model. Realize that I put a lot of time into tabbing out these songs, making the videos, editing them. So I'm just asking you to give some of that back in return. That's a value for value model. Many ways to give. They're all at mikesmusicmethod.com under the little donate thing. You can mail me a check, PayPal, Patreon, many different ways. So check that out. And that's it. I think you guys get it. It's a value for value model. Please, if you've made it this far in the video, you're clearly getting some value. It's at least worth a couple bucks, I think. Consider that. You tip your bartenders, you know, you pay the guy who cuts your grass. Come on, I'm doing more than cutting your lawn. I'm giving you the gift that never stops giving, man. Music, man, the universal language. It gives forever, always, never stops giving. It gives ultimately forever in a timeless loop. Time's not a line, it's not linear, it's a circle. So forever, when I give you music, it's giving to you forever in a circle that never ends forever. Just think about that. When you consider not donating, think of the circle that never ends for infinity times and how much I've given you because music never stops giving. It's like rotating at 750,000 rotations RPM per minute per second. Holy cow. Donate to Mike's Music Method before it's too late, even though the circle will never end, so it'll never be too late, but I don't want to get that in your head. You should donate now.
It hurts. Measure 10, let's do this verse here. We already have this cool little thumb and pointer finger trick. Again, I love it. Pinching 5 and 2 on a C chord, thumb goes to 3. Now what he does here is he does thumb back on 5, but now the pointer finger does 3. And the thumb does 4. So see how he switches it there? Goes to the 3rd string, but then it shifts to the 4th because the pointer's doing that note now. It's this beautiful, like, kind of like cascading sound where the melody blends with the bass. It's just really pretty. So 3, 4. I love it. And then measure 11. Does it again, but with a walk. So here we have a G chord with the B in the bass, a G/B chord, and you can just play it this simple. All I'm doing is fretting that 2nd fret on the A string, and my thumb is going 5, 3, 5. Then my pointer finger does 3. So 5, 3, 5, 3. Thumb back to 5, but now it's on the 3rd fret. So 5, 3rd string. 5th string, pointer goes quickly to the 3rd string. Then when I go back to the 5th, I play the 3rd fret there. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the thumb is 5, 3, 5, 5, 5, 3, 5, 5, and with the extra note, 5, 3, 5, 5, boom. Radical. Measure 12, it's back to the F, thumb over the top with the pinky down. That note D, 3rd fret, 2nd string. And that's actually exactly the same as measure 4. 13 is nearly the same as earlier on in 5, but it's a little bit different. anticipate the G chord by playing an open. I'll show you what I mean here. We're pinching 6 and 1. Thumb goes to the 3rd string. Then we do 6, 2. Remember, our pinky's still down on that 3rd fret. So 6, 2. Then the thumb does 4 here, right? It doesn't do 3, it does 4. Then our pointer finger does 3, but we lift the chord. I mean, I guess you could just lift the middle finger, but I would lift the whole thing and just prepare for the next chord. And we're hitting the note G. That's not in the F chord, but it anticipates the G chord that's to come. And this is a great trick that Townes and Prine and Foley and all these great pickers use. So let's do this measure really slow. Think you got it. 3, 4. Then we go to a G chord, and we've seen all of this before. I think it's an identical little walking part. Yeah, beautiful. So 14, 15 we've seen before. Measure 16, again, here I'm hearing him actually hit that 5th string instead of the G with the C and the bass, as I mentioned before. So if we talk about 16, it looks like a normal C chord. I'm pinching 5, 3, and 2. Thumb goes to 4. Then the second half of the measure, I'm lifting that ring finger to get to the 6th string, and it's 6, 3 with the pointer, then pinching 4 and 2. So the whole measure. Love it. 17's identical. Yeah, it's the same thing. Ooh, we're basically done with the song. We're going to talk about singing it because there are so many gorgeous things about this song's melody. We are almost there though. Let's talk about the instrumental sections. This happens in measure 18 in the tab. It's also at about 2 minutes, 52 seconds in the song. And he's just simplifying the chords. Same chord progression as the verse, less color because he's letting the fiddle do its thing, or the guitar, depending which version of the song you're listening to. Walker recorded the song quite a few times, and they're all beautiful in their own way. The one he did more recently, I think in the 2000s, is the fiddle playing is amazing. And I love, and his singing is just dialed in, and the way he's like phrasing the lines are so heartfelt. But I also like this other version that's out there where it's so slow. It's like too slow, and I don't prefer it, but it's nice hearing like a song that much slower. So look up that version on YouTube where it's just super slow, and it's also beautiful. Probably too slow, but really beautiful to hear this song slow. Anyways, we're in measure 18 where the instrumental thing happens, and we'll breeze through this. You guys got it. So this pattern on a C chord is just 5, 3, 5, 2, 3, 2. Thumb, pointer, or sorry, thumb, 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 pointer, thumb, pointer, thumb, 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 pointer, thumb, pointer. Easy enough. Then in measure 19 here, we go to the G chord with a B in the bass, but he actually hangs on to that first finger. So I don't know what you really call this chord. You can call it like a C with the B in the bass, but then you also have the D. So is it like a C major 7? Is it a sus chord? Because that's a sus2. Whatever you call it. To me, it's just a common transition chord to get to an F or to get to an A minor. And it's used all the time in guitar songs. But we're doing this. We've got so we got that pointer finger down on the 2nd string. That there. And it's just 5, 3. Same picking pattern, right? 5, 3, 5, 2, 3, 2. Thumb, 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 pointer, thumb, pointer. And you'll notice how easy it is from the previous measure. I got the C, do the exact same thing, but I just get rid of that and put that middle finger there. Right, same pattern. Then to an F chord. Here you could bar it if you wanted to. Want to do the thumb over the top. It's just 5, 3, or sorry, 6 now. 6, 3, 6, 2, 3, 2. Then measure 21, 6, 3, 6, 2, 3. Same exact thing, but he lifts the chord at the end to give that open B, which anticipates the B note in the G chord to come. So it's 6, 3, 6, 2, 3, 2, open, then to a G chord, 6, 3, 6, 2, 3, 2, 6, 3, 6, 2, 3, 2. Same thing, he does it twice. And then measure 24 and 25, we're just back to the C chord. 5, 3, yeah, 5, 3, 5, 2, 3, 2, does it again. And there he might just end on the thumb. I don't know if he does that extra color in there. Doesn't matter either way. And then we're there. That's basically the whole song. If you want to do a slow run through now of that instrumental part, right? Go down, timestamp down below, slow run through, instrumental part. And here I just added this for fun. In measure 27, he goes, said when I was young. I just love that little guitar part, and I had to write it down. It's not even the acoustic guitar. It's just a little lead guitar, or I think it's the fiddle part that comes in after. But I just adore it because the melody's the same the whole time, except on this one verse. I said when I was young. I don't know why, it just makes me happy, so I wrote it down in the tab for you guys. Yeah, you can't, I mean, I don't know how you do it at the same time with the guitar, and when you're singing it, you could throw it in there, but I just wrote it because it's fun. It makes me happy. And then the very end of the song, he runs the normal run through of the, like, you know, whatever, the finger picking, but then 29 just replaces the very end. And he slows it down. Now it's hard to hear. There are other colors happening, but I don't know if it's in the guitar because there's the fiddle and the other instruments, and there's a lead guitar. It's hard to tell what's going on, but I'm just hearing this. The G chord is pinching 6 and 2, all the way to 3 with the thumb. Then it's 6, 2, 3. So we got pinch 6 and 2. Thumb, 6, 2, 3. Thumb and pointer, thumb, pointer, thumb. And he does that twice. Then it just ends on a C chord. And then he does 3, 4, 5. Gorgeous.
In measure 33, I give you kind of a separate ending here. So we'll do what I consider like an alternative ending. There's the fiddle. Again, there's a few different recordings of this one, but the later recording with the fiddle, there's a lot going on, and it's cool to try to replicate some of that with the guitar part. So that's what I'm doing here in 33. So instead of doing 29 to 32, we could do 33 to 35 here. And we have that G. Sorry. Oh yeah, no, it was that right. So we're pinching 6 and 2, and then thumb goes to 3. Then we do this cool double stop part that the fiddle's doing. So what I'm doing there is I got 3 on the first string, 4 on the third string. So I'm playing nothing on the second. And you can slide down a fret, then move it down and pick 1 and 2 again here. So that whole measure is 3, 4. So I'm using that time when I hit that open to ring out to get these 2 fingers in place. Then I got 3 and 3 on the second and the fourth string. And I'm doing pinky and, I guess you do it however you want, but I'm doing pinky and ring. So 3 and 3. And then even on the lower string set, but 2 and 3. So I got 2 on the G string, 3 on the A. So that whole measure. And I'm doing open on the D and the B string there at the end of the measure. So let's do that all again before we move on. 3, 4. C chord. I'm just doing 1 string at a time. Beautiful little ending there. Just way more colorful than the other one. Mimicking that violin part a little bit. Boom! Let's talk about singing it here for a minute. At some point I'll do a longer lesson on this tune because I adore this vocal melody. It's super simple, but I don't want to get into a whole long-winded theory thing. But the melody here is my old man had a G-A-G-E-C. My old man had a rounder soul. And it's that E right there that is so gorgeous, and that's what makes this song so dreamy, is he's singing the E, but he's doing it over the F chord. So he's actually singing that dreamy major 7, and it makes it so gorgeous. And it also makes it hard to sing. So because it's kind of like a, whatever, the major 7 in folk, to hold it that long is, you don't usually find it in folk. It's kind of more of a jazz move. I'm not saying it doesn't happen in folk, clearly it's happening right here, but just note how beautiful that makes the melody. He's singing that note, it's the major 7 of the chord, and it's just glorious. It's what makes the melody so bittersweet and beautiful. How I go about singing songs is I simply just start with the chords. So I'm just doing the chords to the verse. Even if you don't want to pick them yet, you can just strum them. My old man had a rounder soul. He'd hear an old freight train, then he'd have to go. And once Once you feel good about that, maybe you start doing the thumb.
My old man had a rounder soul. Hear an old freight train, then he'd have to go.
I know I'm not playing the right thumb. You get the idea. Then eventually you're going to play the whole finger picking part. And that may mean you're doing one measure at a time, just like how you build up your right hand, one finger at a time on the measure. You might have to do that with singing too. We don't just magically get the ability to sing and play at the same time. You may have to meticulously piece it together, just like you did with your right hand fingers. But be meticulous, go slow. Let me pull up the tab. I'm not even looking at the tab anymore here, but it'd be
my old man.
And I might just loop that until I get it.
My old man had a rounder soul, rounder soul, rounder soul.
Right, I'm repeating a lot and trying to convince my brain, no, it happens there every time.
My old man had a rounder soul. Hear an old freight train, then he messed it up. Hear an old freight train, then he'd have to go.
So you're gonna have to go slow, teach your brain. Sometimes you can print the tab, even mark up where the words precisely on what finger hit in the tab the word comes in on. It might take that. Other times you just play it a bunch, and depending on your skill level, you eventually develop the intuition, but it may take a while at first. That's all I'm trying to get across. Struggle with it, that's normal. I wanted you to see me do it, because sometimes it takes that struggle to get it down. It's not just gonna fall into your lap. Let's just sing a couple verses strumming so you guys can feel the flow with me. If you already think you got it, jump ahead to the slow run-throughs, but let's just do a couple stanzas here. And I'm just gonna basically strum it, but feel free to do the thumb if you want.
My old man had a rounder soul. Hear an old freight train, then he'd have to go. Said he'd been blessed with a gypsy bone, and that's the reason, I guess, he'd been cursed to roam.
I'm probably messing up the phrasing.
Came to town back before the war. Didn't even know what it was he was looking for. Carried a tattered bag full of violin, full of lots of songs of the places he had been. Talked real easy and he smiled and waved. He could pass along to you when his fiddle played, making people drop their cares and woes and hum out loud the tunes that his fiddle bowed.
You get it, so dreamy and peaceful, and it's a beautiful song. Slow runs. Let's do a slow run just of the intro here, measure 1 through 9. And we have the pickup beat, so coming on 4 here. 1, 2, 3. Let's do the verse. We'll go from 10 to 17. 1, 2, 3, 4. instrumental bit, so from 18 to 25, and it happens at about 250 in the song, again, depending which version you're listening to here. 2, 3, 4. That's it. Silly little fill in 27. But let's do the first coda here, 29 to 32. 3, 4. Slow run of the second, kind of more exciting ending, starting in measure 33. 2, 3, 4. Slide the first one. Let's do it again. 3, 4. It gives ultimately forever in a timeless loop. Time's not a line, it's not linear, it's a circle. So forever, when I give you music, it's giving to you forever in a circle that never ends forever. Just think about that. When you consider not donating, think of the circle that never ends for infinity times and how much I've given.